Rumors are that it is absolutely chaos behind the scenes of Real Housewives of Potomac ahead of season 8 filming. What's going on? And is the season really canceled? Well, I have some new information that may answer all of those questions and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. Alright, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about. And it centers around rumors that allegedly there is some major chaos behind the scenes at Real Housewives of Potomac ahead of season 8 filming. What's going on? And is the season really canceled? Well, I have some new information that may answer all of those questions and more. And here it goes. Rumors are that allegedly there is extreme chaos behind the scenes at Real Housewives of Potomac, and producers aren't sure if they can start production in a couple of weeks due to the many shakeups. The source continued, "It's a mess behind the scenes. Producers are allegedly pointing their fingers at each other, looking for someone to blame. It's all reminding me of Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 14 pre-production," continued the source. "No one is trusting no one at the moment, and it's sad. Everyone has their personal favorites and seem to be trying to actively save them from the chopping block," ended the source. Allegedly, said another source, production and the network all agree that a major cast shakeup is needed. The issue now is it appears another production/producer shakeup is needed as well. The source continued, "Everyone seems to have gotten bold and lazy with their jobs. No one seems to really want to put in meaningful effort to save the show. So they just let make up lies and excuses to cover up for the liars, as revealed by Chris this week. So the question is this season of Real Housewives of Potomac really canceled? Well, industry insiders say it's very likely that season 8 of Real Housewives of Potomac is on hold until further notice. There are just too many negative variables for the cast, crew, and producers to overcome in a few short weeks. I will be surprised if they stick to their current filming schedule." The industry insider continued, "Allegedly, recasting several key housewives would take a lot to complete. Figuring out storylines and new group dynamics could take additional weeks to set up. There just isn't a quick path to start next season's filming," ended the insider. Allegedly, the cast has become so divided that they are allegedly deciding to ice each other out to either maintain their peace of mind or to maintain the upper hand with creating storylines. The source continued, "A lot of the confusion in productions is producers' faults. Giving certain cast members free range to wreak havoc on the entire franchise has definitely backfired. No one knows what to do with Gizelle. Now that fans know about her alleged executive producing credit, many are calling for a boycott of the show until a major change in her character development or position on the show happens." All sources agree that Real Housewives of Potomac is going down the same wrong road as Basketball Wives. Having women on the show who appear to get away with the most vile things are never a good thing for fans or producers, and always seem to turn off fans from watching the show. The source continued, "Lack of accountability has taken even the best ensemble cast franchises to the gutter. However, at Real Housewives of Potomac, no one seems to care. The ladies at Real Housewives of Atlanta, on the other hand, are always held to a higher standard," said the source, "and it has caused them to really reach and look at their mistakes and change course, which makes them work harder to produce genuine content, organic storylines, unlike Real Housewives of Potomac. And that's the real issue as to why Potomac has completely fallen off the tracks. A big lack of accountability." Now, kinfolk, that is a lot, and as I always say, it's a lot going on at Real Housewives of Potomac right now. But it's one part of this rumor, kinfolk. We're going to hop right into it that I absolutely see as being factual. And it's this. I do believe that every piece of the alleged chaos that's going on behind the scenes at Real Housewives of Potomac is Gizelle's fault. And I believe it's Gizelle's fault because it's like almost like clockwork. And like my source says, you would think that these producers, some have come from, I think, Real Housewives of Atlanta, would see this parallel of confusion and chaos that giving one person all this free range over a franchise can create. And so the chaos is because of Gizelle, and I do believe that they don't know what to do. And the reason why they don't know what to do is because I feel like, if you are to believe this rumor, then they have just relied on Gizelle too much to do probably their jobs. They have probably relied on Gizelle to create storylines, to create drama, and it made their jobs probably easier behind the scenes. It's almost if they're working for Gizelle and not the other way around. So when you have an intricate person who has been intricate in pretty much doing your job for you for so long, it's kind of hard to reroute courses because it's like now we have to show up for work. And it may be very hard to do in this instance because now they may have to completely ice Gizelle out from even any input in producing storylines or helping to produce the other ladies simply because her reputation and the trust has been completely broken with the fans. It's very reminiscent again of Real Housewives of Potomac. Of Real Housewives of Atlanta, when they allegedly allowed Nene a lot of say in how things are produced and how stories and dramas are edited on the show, or at least allegedly how they appear on the show through manipulation behind the scenes. And so when Nene was gone, it was kind of a void that was left. And so now we're seeing that void even bigger at Potomac simply because these ladies outside of Gizelle don't know how to produce their own storylines or drama outside of alleged lies and vague drama. So now what we're left with is something that could be a quick fix for this issue. And it's this. This whole issue could be fixed very easily if they went ahead and reprimanded Gizelle, Ashley, and Robin. I think then if they did so, we could move forward as fans and they could move forward as a cast. I think that if they did that, they would show Gizelle and Robin and Ashley, like, you can't come on here and just make up these half-truths and whole lies. This drama has to be somewhat scripted, but for the most part, it has to be organic and believable and not detrimental to other people's lives outside of the show. I think if they do that, they can really gain, one, the trust of the fans back. And then two, fans will give it an opportunity and give the show much more leeway if they took Gizelle out of the equation when helping to come up with storylines. And let's just say next season was kind of boring and kind of flat because they didn't have Gizelle's manipulation all in the storylines and narratives. I think fans will be more forgiving of a lackluster season because they know internally that production is trying to change the way they produce drama on the show. I think that is absolutely one of the quickest fixes to this issue. That and also letting Robin go. I don't think Robin should be brought back next season. And everything my sources are saying is that it's looking like that may actually be the case. So now what we're seeing is a lot of people behind the scenes trying to scramble and fix an issue that really should have been nipped in the bud early on throughout the season. Now, kinfolk, it's a third part of this rumor that I do find very interesting, and it's this. I think down the road, I think Gizelle probably knows that she has created a big issue for production and for herself. As we learned through multiple sources and rumors, is that Gizelle sees herself as an active producer on the show. And what that is, Gizelle does find herself stuck, I do believe. However, she does have an ace in her hole, much like the way Nene did. And the reason why I say that is because when you are producers and you rely on one person so much, they know where all the bodies are buried. So it's quite logical that they will pretty much fall back from using Giselle as a crutch to create drama, but it won't be to a point to where she feels like they're reprimanding her or punishing her harshly or unfairly. And that's simply because Giselle knows where all the bodies are buried when it comes to production. So with that being said, I do believe that's one factor in which Giselle has saved herself on the show. But also, I think that is another factor into where we can see production and how they may move on from Giselle with like kitty gloves on and not do a big harsh exit or breakup like they did with Nene. Now, Kinfolk, the fourth thing about this rumor is about production and something that I absolutely believe, and it's this. Production has become very lazy at Real Housewives of Potomac. I mean, extremely lazy. It's just like, I believe Chris when he said that production probably had a meeting with those ladies, an alleged meeting with those ladies midway through the season, and said they just weren't bringing the drama. And that's just very indicative to, I think, producers not doing their jobs. If producers or production are doing their jobs, they can sit down with ladies and get their storyline, get the narrative and what they're trying to present to the screen, and then create storylines, scenarios, and issues and organic drama around what's going on in their personal lives and their friendship lives, and that way things won't seem forced. But it just seems like they're just telling the ladies, show up to work, and we'll just see how things go. And then halfway through the season, they're like, okay, y'all not giving us enough drama. Y'all have to amp up the drama. But without sitting down with the ladies and seeing what's actually going on in their lives, without seeing what's actually they're dealing with or maybe struggling with, they just tell the ladies, all right, y'all got to amp up the drama. The ladies may feel like they have no direction, so what they start doing, start making up lies, start making up half-truths, and start doing these big elaborate things that are very detrimental to people's personal lives and personal reputations, as we've seen this last season on Real Housewives of Potomac. So I definitely do believe that production has become very lazy. And that may be a reason, if you are to believe this rumor, because right now it's all alleged information and speculations. But I could actually see them pushing this season back because producers just have to get reacquainted with doing their jobs. And they have to figure out how to do their jobs better than they were before in order to make this season start off on the correct foot. Now, Kinfolk, the last part of this rumor I do find very interesting. And again, I do place a lot of blame at production. And we briefly talked about it, is this. Production really created an atmosphere of desperation amongst these ladies. And it's just not fair to them. Now, we're not trying to make up any excuses for Giselle or Robin and Ashley, because what they did was just vile, right? What they did was completely vile. And if Michael has a lawsuit, then we definitely know Chris has a lawsuit as well. But that desperation that they have created at that show, it is just so blatant, and it's sad. It's sad because you're seeing some women, not all, but you can see some women who are struggling with their integrity and their personal integrity when trying to create drama on this show. Things don't seem organic. Things don't seem like accurate, and things just seem very dark, or at least it feels like it's getting to that point. And that's just the role that Real Housewives of Potomac and Real Housewives of Atlanta should know is very different, very detrimental to a show's future success, especially with the fans. So creating this atmosphere of desperation, I do think, has these ladies acting out of character. I'm just very interested in seeing how a season of Real Housewives of Potomac would go if Giselle was not producing these ladies behind the scenes, and if they just allowed this group just to come together and just be organic, right? I just want to know what that would feel like. And to be perfectly honest, maybe this cast is beyond that point. Which brings us to another part of this rumor, how people feel like a cast shakeup is desperately needed. And I will agree. I do believe that some of these ladies have become too invested in the show and too invested in their personal image to where they don't do certain things. And they're trying to create two different narratives, a narrative for the show and a narrative for outside of the show. And that's what happens when people have been on these reality TV shows for just far too long. I think a prime example is Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Before Erica Jane got there, things were kind of going, and then before Rena got there, it was going, Then they changed and shook up the cast, and you have a new crop of ladies who bring some new dynamics to the show. But then again, it goes back to the original statement that, giving Giselle all of this alleged, power behind the scenes just made everyone else just lazy to what effect they just couldn't see or put in the effort to bring in new blood and actually make new blood work with these ladies so they could start phasing out some of the OGs. Now, kinfolk, we've all seen this chaos with Real Housewives of Potomac unravel this past month, actually. And now we're at a very pivotal moment to where they have to make some major decisions. My sources are still sticking by their claims that allegedly Robyn is not coming back. But kinfolk, I want to know, who else do you feel like should not be brought back? And how are some other ways you feel like that the producers of Real Housewives of Potomac could really save this franchise ahead of next season's filming? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Alright, kinfolk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys over on the next one. Peace.